Welcome to Scholastic IQ, the game where hopefully there are no questions about American football. I'm your host, Ethan Neer, and we have a great show in store for you tonight with two great teams, so let's go ahead and introduce them. On the bottom, we have Mascoutah with Daniel, Chase, Kaylee, and Wyatt. And up top, we have Centralia with Carter, Braden, John, and Manuela. So before we get into the questions, let's just do a quick recap of our rules. We'll start out with some toss-up questions. Those are worth 10 points. If a team gets it right, they move on to a bonus question, which is worth 20 and can be stolen for 10. You guys are allowed to interrupt me at any time, but if you interrupt me and get the question wrong, it is 5 points for the other team, so just be right. All right, we all ready? Let's get into the questions. What realm of Norse mythology created using the eyebrows of the Jotun Ymir is connected to Asgard by the Bifrost Bridge and is the home of the humans? John.
Midgard.
Midgard is correct. Well done. For your bonus, Laurie Strode has a final showdown with supernatural killer Michael Myers in a 2022 entry in what horror film series?
Halloween.
Halloween is correct. Well done.
Hooray.
For your next question, what author depicted a Babylonian thinker in his book Zadig and satirized mathematician Gottfried Leibniz as an optimistic Dr. Pangloss in Candide? Wyatt.
Voltaire.
Voltaire is correct. Well done. For your bonus, members of the Moravian Church are modern-day followers of a what Czech religion reformer who was burned at the stake in 1415?
Luther.
Luther is incorrect. Centralia, chance to steal.
Is that real guess? Defer to Carter.
Jan Hus.
Jan Hus is correct. Well done, Carter.
Oh, good.
For your next question, pencil and paper ready.
Carter.
What is the quotient of 9 factorial divided by 7 factorial given 9 factorial equals Kaylee?
72.
72 is correct. Well done. For your bonus, the world's lowest freshwater body of water is what Israeli sea, where Jesus is said to have walked on water?
Dead Sea.
Dead Sea is incorrect. Centralia, chance to steal.
Red Sea.
The Red Sea is also incorrect. The answer you're looking for was the Sea of Galilee.
Galilee.
Sea of Galilee. Your next toss-up. What theorist whose ideas were a major basis of Jacques Lacan's writings analyzed Irma in the interpretation of dreams and why?
Freud.
Sigmund Freud is correct. Well done.
Good bus.
For your bonus, what Italian author wrote about novice monk Adso of Melk, who helps Williams of Baskerville find a murderer in the 1980 novel The Name of the Rose?
Echo.
Echo is correct. Well done. For your next toss-up, what man whose colitis forced him to resign as head of the LDP in 2020 was assassinated after being the longest-serving Japanese? Carter.
Shinzo Abe.
Shinzo Abe is correct. Well done. For your bonus, in 1959, African-American pinch hitter Pumpsie Green debuted against the White Sox, making what team the last in the major leagues to integrate?
I don't think so. What's the name? Red Sox.
The Red Sox is correct. Well
It is.
done, John.
Well done, Manuel.
For your next toss-up, what European president who twice vetoed the UK's entry into the EEC established the Fifth Republic and commanded Free France during World War II? John.
Charles de Gaulle.
Charles de Gaulle is correct. Well done, John. And for your bonus, what Plains state was represented in the Senate by Tom Daschle and by the 1972 Democratic nominee for president, George McGovern?
Nebraska.
Nebraska is incorrect. Mascoutah, chance to steal.
Kansas.
Kansas is also incorrect. The answer we're looking for was South Dakota.
Oh,
South Dakota. That'll take us to our next toss-up. What bone, which has a tuberosity to which the patellar ligaments attaches, forms a hinge joint with the femur and why?
Fibula.
Fibula is incorrect. Centralia, I will reread it for you. Which bone, which has a tuberosity to which the patellar ligament attaches, forms a hinge joint with the femur and is commonly called the shin bone? John.
Tibia.
Tibia is correct. Well done.
Hooray.
For your bonus, what English thinker who proposed The Panopticon, a prison whose inmates were always in view of guards, is considered the founder of utilitarianism.
Pass.
Mascoutah, chance to steal.
No answer.
The answer we're looking for was Jeremy Bentham. Jeremy Bentham. And that will take us to our first media question. This is the mascot for Wyatt.
Chester.
Chester Cheetah is correct. Well
Good buzz.
done. Look at him. Look at how stylish he looks. God, I love Chester Cheetah. And that'll take us back to our toss-ups because there is no bonus for media questions. What country, which contains the largest portion of both the Carpathian Mountains and the delta of the Danube River, is also home to Transylvania? Wyatt.
Romania.
Romania is correct.
That's a good buzz.
I'll take you to your bonus. What 1877 novel by Anna Sewell is narrated by the title horse, whose many owners include Farmer Gray, Squire Gordon, and London cab driver Jerry?
No answer.
Centralia,
Black Beauty.
Black Beauty is correct. Well done, John.
I read it.
For the next toss-up, members of what profession, such as Marin Alsop, Carlo Maria Giulini, and Leopold Stokowski, often use a thin baton as they lead an orchestra? John.
Conductor.
Conductor is correct. Well done. For your bonus, rusting is what type of process prevented by galvanization in which a refined metal is degraded to become more stable oxide?
Oxidization.
Oxidization is incorrect. Mascoutah, chance to steal.
Oxidation.
Oxidation is also incorrect. The answer we're looking for was corrosion.
Oh.
Corrosion. I'll take us to our next toss-up. What agencies whose Co-Intel Pro initiative targeted civil rights groups under Director J. Edgar Hoover is the main federal law enforcement? Carter.
The FBI.
FBI is correct.
Good
well
buzz.
done. I'll take you to your bonus. The Bringer of War and The Mystic are subtitles of movements in what suite by Gustav Holst?
The planets.
The Planets is correct. Well done, John. The next toss-up. The brightest events in the universe are bursts named for what form of radiation emitted by excited nuclei, which has energy higher than X-rays? Wyatt.
Gamma.
Gamma is correct. Well done, Wyatt. For your bonus, what 17th century poem by Andrew Marvell urges the title woman to accept a lover's embrace because time's winged chariot is hurrying near?
Fairy Queen.
Fairy Queen is incorrect. Centralia, a chance to steal.
Lady Chatterley's lover.
That is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was to his coy mistress.
That's
to his
the
coy
one.
mistress.
So,
Back to the toss-ups. What 1937 novel whose characters include a man known as Tea Cake and a resident Wyatt?
Their eyes were watching God.
Their eyes were watching God is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what president who signed the Indian Citizenship Act of 1924 was nicknamed Silent for his pronounced turnisis? That's cool.
Coolidge.
Calvin Coolidge is correct. Well done. So next toss-up. What conflict described as a splendid little war? Wyatt.
Mexican-American War.
That is incorrect. I will read the question for you, Centralia. What conflict described as a splendid little war by John Hay ended with U.S. control of the Philippines and began after the sinking of the Maine? John.
Spanish-American War.
Spanish-American War is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what Italian word often used to mean a climax is used in music to mean a gradual increase in loudness?
Crescendo.
Crescendo is correct. Well done. Your next toss-up. What quantity, which is as low as possible at a mixture's eutectric point, is depressed in a solution and is 0 degrees Celsius for pure water? Carter.
Freezing point.
Freezing point is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what 19th century author wrote about a woman who implores Confederate troops to spare your country's flag in his poem Barbara Frietchie?
Frost.
Frost is incorrect. Mascoutah, chances to you.
No answer.
John Greenleaf Whittier is the answer we're looking for. John Greenleaf Whittier. And that'll take us to our next media question. This app is used to learn Wyatt.
Duolingo.
Duolingo is
Good buzz.
correct. Well done. And that'll take us back to the toss-ups. What 19th? Oh, excuse me. What river, whose upper section is called the Jinsha or Gold Sands River, flows past Wuhan and Wyatt?
Yangtze.
Yangtze is correct. Well done. For your bonus, the conservation of what quantity, often denoted by capital L, can be illustrated using the example of a spinning skater?
Angular momentum.
Angular momentum is correct. Well done, Wyatt.
I knew that.
Back to the toss-ups. What singer whose name follows a big T-shirt in the lyrics of a namesake Armani White song has a brother named Phineas who co-wrote her song? Manuel.
Ferb.
Can you repeat that for me?
Ferb.
Ferb is incorrect. I will reread it for you. What singer whose name follows big T-shirt in the lyrics of a namesake Armani White song has a brother named Phineas who co-wrote her song Bad Guy? Kaylee.
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish is correct. Well done. For your bonus, before a 2018 correction, the name of what New York City bridge was spelled with one Z fewer than its of its historical namesake?
Piazza.
Piazza is incorrect. Centralia, Jensen Steele.
No answer.
The answer you're looking for was the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. Verrazano Narrows Bridge. Our next toss-up. What state is home to Haverford College, was represented in Congress during the Civil War by Thaddeus Stevens, and is governed from Harrisburg? Wyatt.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania is correct. Well done.
Good bus.
For your bonus, what no longer extant Gran Republic was established under the 1821 Constitution of Cucuta and contained modern Panama, Ecuador, and Venezuela?
Gran Colombia.
Gran Colombia is correct. Well done. For your next toss-up, what country's longtime dictator who wrote the Green Book? Wyatt.
Libya.
Libya is correct. Well done.
Good bus.
For your bonus, what show that streams on Amazon Prime Video is set in Cousins Beach, stars Lola Tung as Belly, and is named after a young adult novel by Jenny Han?
The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Summer I Turned Pretty is correct. Well done, Wyatt. And that will take us to our lightning round. The way our lightning round works is each team will have 60 seconds to answer as many questions as they can about a certain topic. Now, Centralia, since you guys are trailing this one, you get the first pick of the litter. Your choices are artist's tools, former country names, also in a deck of cards, or F in initials.
Artist tools.
Artist tools it is. Name these things used by visual artists. 60 seconds on the clock. I will count you down. 3, 2, 1. Flat board for mixing pigments.
Pass.
Spinning device that pottery can be thrown on.
Pass.
A sculptural copy made using a mold.
Plaster.
That's incorrect. Cloth put on a studio floor to catch splatter or debris.
Pass.
Oven for firing ceramics.
Kiln.
That's correct.
Good.
Plain fabric that most oil paintings are made on.
Canvas.
Flat metal tool that is hammered to chip away at a sculpture.
Chisel.
Fast drying paint partly made of egg yolk.
Acrylic.
That's incorrect. Impermeable gloss daubed onto finished ceramics.
Pass.
Dim workspace for developing photographs.
Red room.
That's incorrect. Spinning device that pottery can be thrown on.
Wheel.
That's correct. Flat board for mixing pigments. All right, you guys are all out of time. We will go through the ones you missed. Flat board for mixing pigments is a palette. A sculptural copy made using a mold is a casting. Cloth put on a studio floor to catch splatter or debris is a drop cloth. Fast drying paint made partly of egg yolk is tempera. Impermeable gloss daubed onto finished ceramics is a glaze. And a dim workspace for developing photographs is a dark room. A dark room. All right, Mascoutah, it is now your guys' turn. Your choices are former country names, also in a deck of cards, or F in initials.
F in initials.
All right, F in initials. For what word does the letter F stand for in these abbreviations? 60 seconds on the clock. I will count you down. 3, 2, 1. NFL, a sports league.
Football.
UFO, a spaceship.
Flying.
FCC, a government agency.
Federal.
JFK, the 35th president.
Fitzgerald.
SPF, a classification of sunscreen.
Passed.
FDA, a government agency.
Food.
AFV, a class of military equipment.
Pass.
FAQ, a list of questions.
Frequently.
BFG, a character created by Roald
Friendly.
Dahl. RAF, a British military branch.
Pass.
Force.
That's correct. SPF, a classification of sunscreen.
Pass.
AFV, a class of military equipment.
Frequency.
That's incorrect. SPF, a classification of sunscreen. This is the only one you guys have left.
Frequency.
Frequency is incorrect. All right, you guys are all done. Going 8 for 10, I believe. Not too shabby. We'll go through the 2 that you missed. And SPF, a classification of sunscreen, is a factor, as in sun production or protection factor. And AFV, a class of military equipment, is a armored fighting vehicle. All right, let's take a look at our scores after the lightning round. We have Centralia with 230 and Mascoutah with 305. So still a very close game, really anyone's game here. We'll go back to the toss-ups. What English scientist names the total charge on a mole of electrons, the law of electromagnetic induction, and a cage that blocks Wyatt?
Faraday.
Faraday is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what work in which Leonore disguises herself to save her husband Florestan from prison is the only opera by Ludwig van Beethoven?
Fidelio.
Fidelio is correct. Well done. For your bonus, for the next question, what company whose CEO Shou Chu testified to Congress in March had its platform banned in Montana? Wyatt.
ByteDance.
ByteDance is incorrect. I'll read the question for you, Centralia. What company whose CEO Shou Chu testified to Congress in March had its platform banned in Montana and is a social media site owned by ByteDance? Carter.
TikTok.
TikTok is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what epic poem whose title character is exiled on the request of Kaikeyi features the 7th avatar of Vishnu defeating Ravana and rescuing Sita?
The Tale of Genji.
That is incorrect. Mascoutah, chance to steal.
Mahabharata.
Can you repeat that for me?
Mahabharata.
Mahabharata is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Ramayana. I'll take us back to the toss-ups. What first female member of the Royal Statistical Society rose to prominence during the Crimean War, during which Wyatt?
Nightingale.
Florence Nightingale is correct. Well done.
Good buzz.
For your bonus, British politician Kwasi Kwarteng was the first black person to hold what position, which is responsible for the UK's fiscal and monetary policy?
Treasurer.
Treasurer is incorrect. Centralia, chance to steal.
Secretary of the Treasury.
That's incorrect. The answer we're looking for was the Chancellor of the Exchequer. Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Of course.
And that'll take us to our last media question. This character is a well-known Wyatt.
Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana is correct. Well done. Back to our toss-ups. What actor who won an Oscar for King Richard was subsequently banned from the Academy Awards for 10 years after John?
Will Smith.
Will Smith is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what French-American mathematician is the namesake of a self-similar set and in 1975 coined the term fractal?
Fibonacci.
Fibonacci is incorrect. Mascoutah, a chance to steal.
MC Escher.
MC Escher is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Benoit Mandelbrot. Benoit Mandelbrot. The next toss-up. What country produced a novel about an outlaw and 108 spirits titled Wyatt?
China.
China is correct. Well done. For your bonus, in what year on November 11th at 11 a.m. did the armistice that ended fighting in World War I take effect?
1945.
That is incorrect. Centralia, chance to steal.
1918.
1918 is correct. Well done.
All right.
That'll take us back to our toss-ups. What country breached the Mannerheim line in the Winter War against Finland? Wyatt.
Russia.
We accept Russia. We need
Soviet Union.
Soviet
Okay.
Union. Yes, that is correct. For your bonus, what island was the birthplace of author Seamus Heaney, whose poem Diggings describes cutting through soggy peat to plant potatoes?
Ireland.
Ireland is correct. Well done. For your next toss-up, Alex English spent a decade with what NBA team who drafted a Serbian center who won back-to-back MVPs? Wyatt.
Nuggets.
The Denver Nuggets is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what term describes pairs of substances, such as oil and water, that do not mix to form homogeneous solutions?
Heterogeneous.
That is incorrect. Centralia, a chance to steal.
Unsoluble.
Unsoluble is also incorrect. The answer we're looking for is immiscible. Immiscible. For your next question, what animals, sometimes called clinoians, have a shell made of bone or cartilage and include species such as leatherback and Daniel?
Turtles?
Turtles is correct. Well done. For your bonus, in 1843, Daniel Naughton tried to assassinate what British Prime Minister whose first name inspired a nickname for British police officers, Bobbies? It is all out of time. Centralia, a chance to steal.
Bobby Bryn Eisen.
That is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Robert Peel. Robert Peel. Your next question. What man who lost the rights to his book, If I Did It to the Goldman Family, is a former football player who was acquitted? Chase.
OJ.
O.J. Simpson is correct. Well done.
Guys, it's fine.
For your bonus, Tok Pisin is one of over 800 languages spoken on what country whose capital is Port Moresby?
Papua New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea is correct. Well done. Your next toss-up. What Shakespearean comedy depicts Sir John Falstaff's inept attempts to seduce mistresses Ford and Page? The comedy's title, Happily Married Women. John.
Much Ado About Nothing.
That is incorrect.
It is.
Wyatt.
Merry Wives of Windsor.
Merry Wives of Windsor is correct. Well done. For your bonus, heterodonty, a feature found mostly in mammals, occurs when an organism has multiple types of what anatomical structures?
Teeth.
Teeth is correct. Well done. The next question, what man who appointed Alex Padilla to the Senate survived Larry Elder's attempt in a 2021 recall election to replace him as governor? Wyatt.
Oh. Newsom.
Gavin Newsom is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what Greek god who was having an affair with Aphrodite when they were caught in a net by her husband, Hephaestus?
Yeah, we know.
Aries.
Aries is correct. Well done. The next toss-up, what material follows Lost in the name of a technique for casting bronze statues and is used to depict celebrities at the museum, Madame Tussauds?
Oh. Wax.
Wax is correct. Well done,
It's
Wyatt.
not possible.
For your bonus, in the 2023 case Allen v. Milligan, the Supreme Court upheld Section 2 of what 1965 law requiring Alabama to redraw its congressional district map?
Civil Rights Act.
That is incorrect. Centralia, a chance to steal.
Gerrymandering Act.
That is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was the Voting Rights Act.
Oh.
Question 31, pencil and paper ready. If the logarithm of x equals 2, what is the value of the logarithm of the cube of x given that x equals 100? Kaylee.
Oh. 8.
8 is incorrect. Carter.
10.
10 is incorrect. The answer we're looking for is 6. 6.
I meant to do 2 times 3.
The next toss-up. What 4-letter name of the protagonist of The Call of the Wild is Wyatt?
Jack.
You can say that again?
Jack.
Jack is incorrect. I'll reread it for you. What 4-letter name of the protagonist of The Call of the Wild is also a word for an adult antelope or deer, as well as a slang for $1? Carter.
Buck.
That is correct. For your bonus, what South American country lost almost 70% of its population in the War of the Triple Alliance against Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay?
Oh,
Sorry, you guys are all out of time. Mascoutah, chance to steal.
Paraguay.
Paraguay is correct. So that's it for tonight's show. For all of our lovely contestants here today and the people working hard behind the scenes, I'm Ethan Neer. Thank you so much, and good night.